Hello, friends. I'm Zhang Tianyang. Today is December 8th, 2025. The biggest news today is that the Chinese Communist Party's Politburo held a meeting on December 8th. They talked about plans for the economy in 2026 and looked at rules about how the party leads the country's laws. This Politburo meeting is getting ready for the bigger Central Economic Work Conference. We know the Politburo meeting is just for party leaders, but the Central Economic Work Conference is much larger. It includes not only the top leaders and Politburo members, but also secretaries from the central office, plus people from the National Congress, the government, the advisory body, the top court, the top prosecutor, and military leaders. It also has main leaders from provinces, cities, and special areas like Xinjiang. Plus, people from key government offices like planning, finance, the bank, business, and industry, and leaders from groups like unions, youth groups, and women's groups. Also, bosses from big banks and state companies. So, the Central Economic Work Conference is really big. Compared to that, the Politburo meeting is a closed-door talk to prepare for the big one. We've talked before about a basic rule in Chinese communist politics. They solve big problems in small meetings, and big meetings are just for show or to follow through. So, the Politburo sets the tone for next year's economy first, then the big conference tells everyone how to do it. Next year is the start of the 15th five-year plan, so this meeting is extra important. This time, the Politburo made big changes to next year's economic plans compared to 2024. These changes have 5 main parts. Each one will affect the economy a lot. We'll go through them one by one later. In the report after the Politburo meeting, we can see that Xi Jinping thinks China and the US are almost at war right now. But at the same time, Trump posted on social media that he approves selling NVIDIA's high-end AI chips, the H200, to China. This made many people sad who hoped the US would stop China from getting advanced tech and AI. We'll talk about that too. Even stranger, Mr. Kai Shunquan posted that Politburo standing member Li Shi and Politburo member Ma Xingrui missed the meeting again. This makes people think Li Shi, who is the head of the anti-corruption office, might be in trouble. If you're interested in these topics or think they're important, please like, subscribe, comment, and hit the bell. What we're talking about today is about China's big economy in the future, and it will affect the US too, so I think we need to explain it carefully. Let's start with the first topic. The December 8th Politburo meeting was mostly about next year's economy and the party's rules on following laws. Since it's a Politburo meeting, all 7 top leaders and the other Politburo members, total 24, but now 23 because Wei Dong is out, have to be there. Usually, there's no cameras or reporters at Politburo meetings, just written reports. That makes sense because it's 23 people in a closed room talking about secret and sensitive stuff. Without cameras, they can say what they really think. So, Mr. Kai saying Li Shi and Ma Xingrui missed it must come from inside info, not from public photos or videos. But we know for sure they missed the last one. Why? Because after the November 28th Politburo meeting, there was a group study session with photos and videos, like Xi Jinping speaking and people like Zhang Youxia and Wei Dong taking notes. You can see those online. From that, it's clearly Xi and Ma Xingrui weren't there. If they didn't show up for the part with cameras, they probably missed the morning meeting too. So, to check if they're missing this time, we'll see if they show up at the Central Economic Work Conference in the next couple days. The Central Economic Work Conference, like I said, is to discuss and carry out the Politburo's decisions. It includes Politburo members, central secretaries, all province-level bosses, government departments, state companies, banks, and more. It's bigger and lasts 2 days. The December 8th meeting was half a day. During the conference, no videos, but after it ends, there will be videos and photos, especially of the stage. The TV cameras will show everyone. So, we'll see if Li Shi is on the stage. Li Shi missing is weird because Xi Jinping is always fighting corruption, and Li Shi runs that office. But now he's gone, like maybe he's in a corruption case himself. Last time we talked about why. The big problem with Shenzhen's van company failing, which linked to Shenzhen Metro investing in it, and maybe money was given wrongly, losing billions. Online, people connect this to Ma Xingrui, Hu Chunhua, and Li Shi. When Shenzhen Metro bought into Vanke, Ma Xingrui was Shenzhen's party boss, then Guangdong's governor. When Vanke went broke, Shenzhen Metro lost hundreds of billions in bad debt, and it's said to be tied to Ma Xingrui's family. At that time, Hu Chunhua was Guangdong's party boss, so he has responsibility. And Li Shi was Guangdong's party boss from 2017 to 2022. So, is Li Shi, a top leader, going to get caught in corruption and fall? That's worth watching. If a current top leader gets taken down for corruption, that's huge news. Before, she took down Zhou Yongkong, but that was after he retired. If Li Shi falls while in office, it's a big shock in politics. Actually, under Xi, the anti-corruption job seems dangerous. Why? Now back to why the anti-corruption job is risky. Remember when Wei Dong and Miao Hua got in big trouble? They were called disloyal. Miao Hua picked army leaders, so he had teacher-student ties with them. You help someone up, you're their helper, they respect you. Plus, gifts during promotions, so they become a group with shared benefits like the organization department head. She swapped the heads of organization and United Front recently. She worries about these departments forming groups with the people they promote. Same for anti-corruption. They can easily form groups too. Why? You can't make them mad. They could get you fired or jailed with a finger snap. So officials try to please them. Anti-corruption, people hold everyone's secrets, so they control everyone and form groups. We saw Wang Qishan pushed aside after 2012. His old team fell one by one, from airlines, finance, vice premier, Beijing jobs. Zhao Leji too. As head, with so many secrets, everyone fears and pleases you, so it's risky. If Shi form groups like Miao Hua and falls while in office, that's exciting. Like I said, watch if he shows at the economic conference. We'll know in a day or two. By the way, a few days ago, online rumors said Han Zheng disappeared and defected. But he showed up, meeting Germany's foreign minister in Beijing. We talked about this rumor before. He went to Doha for a meeting, then defected to Russia. Then Chinese leaders like Li Chang, Wang Yi, Zhang Youxia went to Russia not to meet Putin, but to get him back. Russia sent him to UK. All online talk, but no common sense. We explained why Han Zheng couldn't defect like that, and now he's out, so our idea was right. Next, since this Politburo meeting is about next year's economy, its decisions are key. They affect the big economy, U.S.-China ties, even U.S. economy, and how China acts toward the U.S. in this new Cold War. So, let's talk about 4 big things from the meeting on economy. First, the most important, for 2026 economy, they say better mix domestic work with international trade fights. Notice the word fight. In party talk, fight is for enemies, not just rivals. See the red circle on screen. So, why say international trade fights? Clearly, they see U.S.-China not as competition, but enemies. That word shows she thinks it's almost war. You're my enemy in economy, trade, Taiwan. She didn't say it straight, but if you understand party words, you get it. That's the first big point. U.S.-China almost at war. Second big point. They first said steady jobs, steady companies, steady markets, steady hopes, but no real estate. That means they think real estate can't be saved, no point. After Evergrande failed, now Vanke too, and others like Country Garden. With all these failures, they won't put bank money into real estate to keep prices up. They accept prices falling and staying low, like an L shape, big drop, then flat forever. Before, they hoped for a V-shaped bounce back, or at least a little up, but now given up. So, house prices will keep falling. Friends in China, if you have a house, watch out, this is key. Years ago, we said sell if you can and run. If you didn't, now know, buying now means you're the fool taking the loss. Wait 2 years, it'll be cheaper. On real estate, they gave up, just let it sink. That means companies like Vanke, no more delays on debt, just go bankrupt. They're still trying, but probably the party says market decides. You're on your own. But they say steady companies ignore real estate, but save others because they give jobs. So second point, U.S.-China almost war. Real estate down, ignore it, but save companies and jobs. Third, about new productive forces. They said do economic work based on local conditions. That means each place has its own situation. Don't all rush into the same things like green energy or computing power. So control repeat building like chips. Third part, make economy structure better. Fourth, pretty important. See the circle part, stick to inner demand leading. Before, they talked about growing inner demand, but China's inner buying is a big problem. Here's data. China's November trade surplus hit a record $1,075.8 billion. That means most stuff made in China is sold outside. Production is still going fast. China makes 40% of world products but sells only 15% inside. So 25% is dumped on other countries, making huge surpluses for China, deficits for others. Not just US and Europe hurt, even ASEAN developing countries, because they can't compete with cheap Chinese goods. What do? Put up tax walls. We talked yesterday. Macron, right after Beijing, warned Xi, fix dumping or EU puts up taxes. So China sees no big hope for exports to Europe and US will be blocked. What then? Can't export, so eat it yourself. They say inner demand leads, stick to it. Before, just strengthen inner, now lead, meaning future goods mostly sold inside. Inner cycle. That's a big policy change. Of course, besides economy, the meeting talked about rule by law, say stick to law confidence. I think this is to cover Xi's more anti-corruption, taking down many with a law code. So again, US-China almost war, real estate down ignore, steady companies and jobs, control extra production, inner demand leads, and anti-corruption continues with law cover. That's the 5 things I see. With China clearly seeing US as enemy, Trump posted something many will be sad about. He said he told Xi Jinping US will let NVIDIA sell H200 to China and others if national safety is okay. She was happy. NVIDIA selling chips to others. 25% of money goes to US government. This helps US jobs, makes manufacturing stronger, helps taxpayers. He said Biden made great companies spend billions on bad products no one wants. Bad idea. I don't know what. Biden stopped new ideas, hurt workers. That time is over. We'll protect safety, make jobs, keep US lead in AI. Then he explained allowing H200 to China. NVIDIA US customers use better Blackwell chip, soon Rubin. Those not in this deal. My government puts US first, commerce working details. Same for AMD, Intel, other US companies. What does Trump mean? Before this, China could buy up to H20 from US. H20 is NVIDIA's special for China to follow US rules, based on H100 but slower. By US rules, before November 2025, highest was H20. How much better is H100 or H200 than H20? I checked. H200 is 5 to 10 times stronger. Huge. So China computing way behind US. Main thing, H200 better for big AI training, speeds up many times. So China, even with good math, bad chips. Why Trump allow H200 now? You can see good or bad. Bad way. Big win for Xi, suddenly faster chips, feels great. Maybe rare Earths hit Trump, he agrees. Or US doesn't see war, helps enemy, makes China weapons better, challenge US, even cyber attacks. Feels bad. Fits new US safety plan. No ideology, just money, not enemy. Give chips. But maybe other side. Other side, new chips much stronger. H200 next is Blackwell B200, 2 to 5 times better for training, 10 times for thinking. Remember that. That's 1 gen up. Next Rubin, over 10 times H200. So if US at Rubin, then Blackwell, H200, H100, H20. When US had H200, sold H20 to China, 2 gens behind. Now, with Blackwell and Rubin above H200, still 2 gens behind. I can sell 2 gens old to you. When new deploy, old one swap out. What to do? Smash. Trump thinks sell to China, make big money, 25% to US Gov, and you're still behind, can't beat me. Maybe that's Trump's plan. One side money, others still not advanced. I think if too much, US Congress will stop. I don't like it, but maybe not as bad as we think. Okay, that's what I want to talk about today. 2 things. One about top leader Li Xi may be in trouble, and China's new view of U.S.-China as almost war, future economy plans, and Trump's chip sale. If you think these are important, please like, subscribe, comment, hit the bell. If you think Trump's policy is bad, type 1. If not so bad, type 2. We'll see what you think. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.